Hansel and Gretel. In a cozy little house by a whimsical forest lived a brother and sister, Hansel and Gretel. Their kind widowed father was a woodcutter, and though they didn't have much, they always had each other. One day, their father married again. Their new stepmother wasn't very nice, and sometimes grumbled about not having enough food. One cold winter night, Hansel and Gretel lay curled up in their beds. Their stomachs rumbled with hunger. They overheard their stepmother talking quietly to their father.
"We don't have enough food for all of us, my love. If we don't take these children into the forest soon, we will all starve. And don't you worry, they'll manage to find a new home. They are young and growing stronger day by day, not like us."
Gretel felt very sad and scared of what their stepmother was planning. Her eyes filled with tears as she clutched her brother's arm.
"Hansel, what will we do?"
Hansel held his sister's hand tightly. "Don't worry, Gretel. We'll find our way back home. I have a plan." Hansel waited for everyone to fall asleep that night. He sneaked out and collected shiny pebbles, then slipped them into his pockets to hide them. The next day, their father and stepmother led them deep into the forest.
"What a lovely day for a walk in the forest, isn't it, darling?"
Hansel was smart enough to know what was going on. As they walked, he started to drop the pebbles one after the other behind him.
"What are you doing, Hansel?"
"I'm just leaving a little trail for us to follow." Later, their stepmother quietly slipped away, holding their father's hand. They disappeared into the forest. Hansel and Gretel got lost, but Hansel knew the pebbles would guide them back home. They followed the trail, and soon they were able to get back home.
"You're back already?"
But their stepmother wasn't ready to give up just yet. 3 days later, she locked the kids' bedroom door at night to prevent them from outsmarting her and planning something new. This time, Hansel couldn't collect pebbles, but he still had a plan. The next day, when they went on a hike again, he dropped breadcrumbs on their way into the woods. When they got lost again, they tried to act quickly. "Let's follow the breadcrumbs to find our way back like we did last time." As they turned to follow the trail of crumbs, they noticed that it started to disappear.
"Look! The hungry birds must have eaten the breadcrumbs."
Lost and scared, Hansel and Gretel wandered the forest for days. On the third day, they started smelling something sweet. They found a house made of candy. The walls were gingerbread, the roof was cake, and the windows were glistened with colorful sweets.
"Look, Gretel, it's like a dream come true."
The hungry children rushed to knock on the door, which was slightly open, and from inside, they were welcomed by the voice of a sweet old lady.
"Come in, dear children. I have plenty of treats for you."
But as soon as they entered, they felt something was suspicious. Inside, the house felt a little strange. In fact, the old lady was a wicked witch. The witch grabbed Hansel suddenly and locked him in a room.
"Your brother needs to fatten up. In a week, he will soon become my dinner."
Gretel was forced to clean the house, but kept secretly thinking of a way to outsmart the witch.
"Don't worry, Hansel. When she takes you out thinking you're ready for her terrible plan, I'll make my move."
Gretel made sure to reassure Hansel from behind the door, though deep down, nothing was clear to her yet. The next day, the witch walked into the room where she kept Hansel.
"I'm hungry and I'm tired of waiting. Time to cook my special boy meal. Gretel, go prepare the oven for me."
Gretel walked into the kitchen and tried to buy herself some time, desperately thinking of a way to escape.
"Help! I can't open the oven door. It must be stuck."
Just as the witch came closer, an idea suddenly flashed in Gretel's mind. With a burst of courage, she shoved the wicked old woman into the big oven and slammed the door shut.
"Hansel, it worked!"
Gretel freed Hansel, and they quickly grabbed as much treasure as they could from the witch's drawer of gold and jewels and ran back into the forest, trying to find their way home. Soon, They started to recognize some familiar surroundings and reached their house. My children, I thought I lost you forever this time. Their father hugged them tightly, tears in his eyes. After you disappeared, I realized how wrong I was to listen to your stepmother. I chased her away, but the house felt colder without you. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I kept hoping you would find your way back to me. Hansel and Gretel looked at their father, who now seemed smaller and sadder than they remembered. Please forgive me. I let fear and weakness guide me, but I promise I will never let you down again. The children hugged him back, their hearts full of love. They knew that holding a grudge wouldn't help, and they didn't blame him anyway.
We forgive you, Father. We're just so happy to be home.
Hansel smiled and opened his satchel. And look, we brought treasure. Hansel showed his father the gold and jewels they found. Children, taking what isn't yours brings no joy, only guilt. We don't need that. We just need each other. The kids nodded, proud. Then we will give the treasure to a poorer family, and we will work hard together again. Their family finally found peace and happiness, and they always looked out for each other in their cozy little house by the woods. They learned that being together was the most wonderful treasure of all. The Ugly Duckling. On a little farm, long ago, lived a cute duck family. Mommy Duck was sitting on her 7 eggs, waiting for her new ducklings to hatch. One sunny morning, the eggs began to hatch. One by one, yellow ducklings stepped out of their shells. They shook their wings with excitement. Look at you! You are all so cute! But one large egg was still in the nest. Well, it looks like that big egg will take more time. So, she had to go sit on her nest again and wait longer. At last, the largest egg hatched. With great confusion, the poor duckling began to look around. His mother and siblings were a bit more confused than he was, because this duck in particular did not look like his siblings. He was built much broader and had gray and white feathers.
What is that? He cannot be one of us. I have never seen such an ugly duckling.
How can you say such a thing? That's not nice. Now line up. We will go to the lake for your very first swim. Yet the other ducklings quacked.
Ugly, ugly, ugly.
The ugly duckling did not know why the other ducklings were yelling at him. He took the last spot in line. Each yellow duck jumped in the river and swam behind Mama Duck. When it was his turn, the ugly duckling jumped in and started to paddle too. He was a great swimmer. Later on, each time the ugly duckling tried to play with his brothers and sisters, they yelled,
Go away! We will not play with you. You are ugly.
Time was passing, and the ugly duckling was growing up to be different. All the animals on the farm were bullying him.
Ugly duckling, ugly duckling, ugly duckling.
Mother Duck, on the other hand, was doing her best to protect him. She couldn't bear to see that poor child so sad. But as the days passed, the poor ugly duckling was feeling worse. All night long he would silently cry.
Just because I am ugly doesn't mean everyone has to be mean. No one wants to play with me or even talk to me.
One day, one of the yellow ducklings said to the ugly duckling,
You know what? You would do us all a big favor if you leave. Get out, get out, get out.
They're right. I should go.
That night, the ugly duckling flew over the farmyard fence and landed on the other side of the lake. There, he met 2 grown-up ducks.
Can I please stay here for a while?
I have nowhere else to go.
What do we care? Just don't get in our way.
Suddenly, a big hungry dog came chasing the two ducks. They quickly flew up in the air. The poor ugly duckling froze in fear. The dog sniffed and sniffed at the ugly duckling, then turned away. I am even too ugly for the big hungry dog. Ugly Duckling began to move along. Soon after, an empty lake appeared. Well then, if nobody wants me, I will hide here forever. Even though he was all alone, he was very happy. One day, he saw a horde of white long-necked birds migrating to the south. How beautiful they are! I wish I could be like them. Winter came and snow began to fall, so it was hard to find food. Cold and tired, trying to forage, the ugly duckling came across a farmer. Poor thing, you must be freezing. I'll take you home and look after you till you grow. Indeed, the farmer took good care of the ugly duckling. When spring arrived, the ugly duckling had grown. The farmer took him back to the lake to give him more space to move around freely. The ugly duckling looked at his reflection in the water, but he was amazed at what he saw. At first, he couldn't recognize himself. He thought there was someone else behind him. So he flipped his wings and noticed that his reflection was doing the same thing. He stretched out his neck, and his reflection continued to mirror his movements. Right then, he knew that this amazing bird was no one other than himself. Oh, how much I've changed! I look like the birds in the sky! While he was swimming in the lake, he came across a wedge of swans. They took him along and traveled joyfully together. Finally, the ugly little thing was accepted and loved by his new friends, to whom he belonged. A boy at the lakeshore yelled out to his friends, "Hey, look at the young one all the way back! Must be the most beautiful swan I've seen!" The swan did not know how to react to so much praise. He felt shy. After being mocked for so long, he couldn't believe he was being appreciated and accepted. I've never dreamt someone would call me beautiful someday. I wish I had received the same affection when I was the little and ugly creature. I wouldn't have spent such a sad childhood. Why do people treat others according to their looks? That is so sad. Yes, from the beginning, he indeed was a swan. He was just an unfortunate egg, which got mixed up in between the ducks. But now, he was with his real family, and ahead of him was a happy life.